let's jump back into Star Wars Jedi Survivor to talk about updated impressions on that now that the game's been completed. We'll keep it spoiler free, not only for Dan who's on the show with us, but also anyone who's listening or watching. I don't want you to feel like we're going to spoil anything. So we'll talk in generalities about like sections of the game or towards the end or whatever. That moment with that one guy, remember? So I like to pull a Kyle surprise and let you all know I actually did finish this game just recently. So that's my I want to do a Kyle surprise.
Now that is a surprise, dude.
Wait. Wow.
I did. I also finished it right before Zelda came out. I just did it.
Dude, we could all do a spoiler cast then because there are spoilers to discuss.
I would like to talk about that game.
But I didn't want to. It was funny. I was actually about to tell you guys like, hey, I wrapped it up, loved it, just in time for. But Derek was like, I finished it 10 minutes before Zelda came out.
Stole your thunder.
I didn't want to be the guy who was like, me too, I did too.
You should have. No.
It's kind of like
both of y'all.
It's kind of like when we share like a breaking headline in our little chat, like, hey, check this out, and I maybe had just looked at that like an hour or two before. I don't want to be the guy who goes like, oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, saw. Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's
no. You just do what I do, and then you re-announce it as if you're the first person to do it.
I just found this news that was posted 23 hours ago, but for the first time, I'm gonna say.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, let's talk about our updated thoughts on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I am proud of myself. I didn't turn the difficulty down despite really wanting to on a few fights. I left it at normal the whole way through, which is not that impressive compared to people who are playing it on the hard and then ultra hard.
I still think it's impressive, especially if you're beating. You were kind of on a clock in a way. I'm not saying you were forced to beat
I was
it
tempted
Zelda,
I was tempted to switch it over.
I definitely wanted to be done with it before Zelda, so I was like, let's just lower that bad boy down and let's just get through the story.
It down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. I had it down the whole time. That's my whole surprise.
That's your secret.
That's your secret.
I was always
on easy mode.
Yeah.
How do you beat the game in 5 minutes? Story mode. They let you skip. They let you skip to the end. You just.
There were a couple of one-on-one battles that definitely caused me to reset a few times, and they have multiple phases with no checkpoints, and that did get frustrating, and that included the very final battle as well, where I was like, I have to do all these steps again.
Checkpoints there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of like scenes that okay, I'm in the next phase. Okay, I'm in the next phase, and it's just like so. I finally just stuck with my one stance that I've liked the whole time. I was trying to switch it up a little bit because this character who you're fighting moves so quickly, and like the stance, I was thinking I need a quick stance to take him on, and I just needed to stick with what I was already doing well with, and only took once I did that, it took me 3 tries, but before I think I died like 8 times in a row, and I was getting real mad, and then finally switched to the stance I liked and had much more success. But there's also another fight in a it's a library-like setting that super cool moment, like story-wise, super cool moment.
Yeah.
But that fight was annoying the crap out of me because it was very simple. Like I had the patterns down, and there would still just be one little moment where I just misstepped, and I had to restart the whole thing over again. It was just
and that is one with like 3 parts to it as well.
Yeah, I did that one on normal all the way to the end twice. It got cheesed, and on the next time I was
totally got cheesed.
I'm dumping this one.
When the phase starts, sometimes there are to be with something coming at you before you can even move, and then you get hit, and I'm like, well, I had no health left. I couldn't heal in time. Like whatever.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
it is,
that fight that y'all are talking about, I didn't like it because they would stop you to do like a mini cutscene. And then he drags you in, and then he hits you right away. And I'm like, bro, like if you wouldn't have stopped the fight, I was in a rhythm. I knew what I was doing, but you did a cutscene, and then you immediately hit me.
It's flow. So the combat system in this game is very flow centric. So yeah, when you get stopped like in the middle of the fight, like it can be a little like jarring for me as well. Where I'm just
I did discover that your kind of hyper move or power move or whatever it is, that thing you can activate once it builds up at the end.
Yep.
Like Jeff mentioned this earlier, how you kind of upgrade that to a totally upgraded version of it without spoiling anything. It made things worse for me on the final fight. I was actually taking a ton of damage during it because at least on normal mode, like he was blocking what I wanted to do and then attacking during that phase. I was like, even though I should be going super fast, and so I just stopped using it, and I had much more success without it. Which is
I didn't use it then. It was only for really for crowd control. Is what I used it for.
Great for crowd control.
Yeah,
Great.
because I saw a TikTok of somebody using it, and they used the force pull in, and he just threw his
when you
lightsaber,
collect them,
and all of them just collapsed. It was amazing.
That's so fun. That's so.
And there were
good.
like 30 bodies.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So anyway, just wanted to share that. I love it. It's so good. It's
I was so shocked by the quality of the story,
Me too.
and like I was a Star Wars guy, and like the last game's story was like fine, you know what I mean? Like it was good, like there are a lot of good Star Wars nuggets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is like one of the best video game stories I've played in a long time. It was really something to experience something like this.
Maybe for me since Ragnarok, but even that, like, I don't know. The finale had these plot beats that were like, we got to get to this. We got to wrap this game up, guys. This is final chapter. Let's go. In this game, they took their time. Like they had us believing one thing was happening and something else was completely different was actually happening.
I was legitimately surprised, but also kind of like delighted with what they decided to do with it.
Me too.
I was like, "Ooh, didn't see that coming." I really like it,
but not in a rug pull way. Well, it was a rug pull, but like not in a cheap way. You know what I mean? It just felt very earned, and it's just a great story with a lot of great beats and
I was telling Kyle,
hey, a pretty decent little Star Wars relationship story, which you don't get a whole lot.
Absolutely,
dude.
I am too. Yeah, I didn't. And a lot of times, not even just with Star Wars games, but like Star Wars movies, as we've seen, Episode 2, they can struggle to communicate a love story. They can just have a hard time like communicating a love story. And I think they did a great job with this one. So
I agree.
Yeah, the whole time, like I was like, this character, I'm not going to say their name or even their sex. I'm like, this character is going to betray my character. And I'm pretty good at like solving stuff, picking up hints and stuff like that. I'm not talking about obvious stuff. Like this one, I was just like, I pieced it together with this. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I was like, I was wrong. Okay.
Actually,
we're going in a different direction.
We beat it like a little before you guys, but like we were able to talk about it a little bit and be like, I was pretty sure that person was going to be like the most obvious one.
Yeah, I thought something else completely was being teed up. So whatever happened, I was just like, and I'm too. I feel like I'm pretty good. I've done a lot of stories. You know what I mean? So like,
we've all.
I kind of know the molds of how a story's gonna.
Well, and the Star Wars canon outside of the movies too. Like you should, you know what I mean? Like you'll see it coming usually. But
no, I was totally blindsided and like and what I would call one of like the greatest blindsides like in video games. So.
Yeah. So I would say just as my quick opinion on this game, I said in a chat, I said, you guys, what's your hype level? I said it's a 7 out of 10 for me, which is not bad. That means I was looking forward to the game, but I wasn't like super hyped for it because of my feelings on Fallen Order, which again, that's another game I liked. Like if I had to score Fallen Order, it would be like an 8.5. It had things I didn't like about it, but here's the thing. This game addressed everything that I didn't like in Fallen Order and did it better in every possible way. So it absolutely did. Like, no, it's not Dragon Age Inquisition. Let's just get that out of the way. There is no
one was gonna say it. That's
in that case, I'm just
I needed to make sure my buddy over here, who's gonna go into and be like, yeah, I can just explore.
Derek and Dan, neither of these games have ever been Dragon Age Inquisition, even a little bit.
Tim, you have bought the game 17 times. You haven't even played it. All right, so I don't even want.
I actually haven't. Derek has given it to me 17 times. But go ahead.
So, but everything really that I didn't like about Fallen Order, they addressed in this game. And then I thought Fallen Order had a good story too. But this story's even better. The world is better. So I like that there is still a lot of like hop, jump, skip, and all that stuff. Yeah. Like when you're going through your levels,
platforming is amazing in this game.
It is.
But the platforming in this game is better. And the other thing that they did that made me happy, because this is my biggest gripe in Fallen Order, is once you got to your destination, Fallen Order is like, all right, now find your way back because you got to get back to the ship. And I'm like, but your map is terrible. I don't want to jump, hop, skip all the way back to my ship. This game's like, all right, you made it. Okay, now you can just fast travel back to your ship.
Jedi skip ability is pretty good.
Thank you very much. So they addressed all the issues I had. The story was really good. What I was going to share is there's been 3 games this year that have been, I think, unexpected surprises. I would put this one up there with Octopath 2, Dead Island 2, and then Jedi Survivor. I'm not saying those other games are better than Jedi Survivor and this one's better than them. I'm just saying those are 3 games that I thought would be good or decent, but not great. And all 3 of them I rated as 9s and above. So they're all 3 really, really good. This game's really good. I want to do a spoiler cast. I'm available this week. I think we should do it. It's story-driven game, so it's got a lot of interesting things you can cover in a spoiler cast, but definitely a great game. Aside from, yes, I did have technical issues.
I'm planning on doing a new game plus as soon as.
I kept it installed too.
I
wanted to start a new game plus immediately, but then I was like, when am I going to do that? But I am seriously planning on doing it.
I mean, that's why I just went ahead and uninstalled it, because I was like, I'll just revisit it in like the fall or the winter or something. Because I did leave some. The only thing I left alone were like legendary like beasts or whatever they call it in the game, and bounties. I left those kind of like just hanging there.
I didn't do a ton of those.
And I was like, you know what? I'll just go back and do it, because I know if you complete all the bounties, you get some kind of secret scene. So I'm gonna go back and finish them and then circle back to a new game plus, because I do want to experience it again, especially because I know by the time I'm gonna jump back into it, it's gonna perform amazingly. It's gonna be like all patched up.
It's gonna perform really well, and also if you get to start with like all your skills, so like there's
no
barriers anymore. You can do everything as you approach it, instead of having to be like, well, I got to come back to this,
Well, and they add some new lightsaber colors. There's 2 that both I think look really cool from what I've seen from the little pictures of them. And then there's some other things that they add too, like some perks that you can. There's one perk, which I guess if you were like a challenge, but basically it can take a simple encounter and add a super difficult enemy there instead, and it'll kind of do that as you're playing.
Masochists out there, like,
I want to touch base on this. Like, I think it's really important to say this, especially this is always like a topic when like Souls games come out. This is the reason why I don't want any Souls game to ever be like heavy story driven. Why? I don't think that's a good complaint, and here's why. The combat is very, very difficult, and when I'm playing a story-driven game,
and I want to get to the next plot beat,
Jedi Survivor has a great story. It's out there. It's not hidden. You don't have to read a bunch of articles. It's right there. It's in the forefront.
It's Naughty Dog level storytelling.
Yes, I want it uncovered. So if I was playing a Souls game that's like, dude, I need to see what's next, and they're like, yeah, but you need to fight this boss like 80 times. Yes. And then you can see what's next.
The fights that I was referencing,
like, I don't even know why I'm fighting you anymore.
Yeah, the fights I was referencing are huge story moments. I want to see what's about to happen because there's a bunch of things hanging in the balance, and I keep getting stuck on this dumb 3rd phase, and I got to reboot the entire fight. It was frustrating. It really was, and that wasn't because I thought the game was poorly made or like I don't want to get better at it. I do, but I just wanted to get to the next narrative beat, and so. I almost turned down the difficulty.
Really funny thing happened for me, and it sounds like Kyle too. He ended his last play session, his second to last play session, a little earlier than I did. But I ended it right. I was on Jeddah, and it was like, go check in with this guy because he's probably done with his thing. And I ended my play session right there. And had I continued, I would have gotten this cutscene that made me go, "What?" And I would have had to see the game through. I would have gone to bed at 4 a.m. But that's exactly what happened. I got that cutscene, and I did not put the game down until I beat it because I was like driven. Like it made me determined to see the game through completely. It was just
I did something similar. When I knew I had the MacGuffin and I knew I had to take it back to the guy, I was like, I'm gonna stop here tonight because I have a feeling the next thing, and I didn't have any idea what was going to happen, but like you just have a feeling, that oh, I'm reaching the end. I even think I put it in chat. I go, I think I'm reaching the point of no return,
which is not true actually. They give you several stop points.
Yeah, no, there's no point of no return.
Something in you that's like, no, I have to see this through. This is
It was an emotional, internal point of no return, not a physical.
It was very much so.
I do wonder. And who knows if this is always in the works. They love a good trilogy over there in Star Warsville.
They said they see it as a trilogy.
And so, if that's the case, then this was a fantastic Empire Strikes Back type of a thing with good mix of great storytelling, fun and funny moments, but also like some tragedy going on. So like I thought it was really
and a really cool cliffhanger too.
And I absolutely want to know what happens next.
So
I absolutely have to need to,
But they don't leave you hanging like, oh no.
No, it's such a
it's a nice arc that completes. Yeah, it completes.
But like a new age is beginning, and I want to see that really bad.
I want to see.
That's how you do it, right there,
Cal.
folks.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I want to see cranky old man Cal with his,
drinking some green milk.
Drinking some spatchka.
Throwing lightsabers over his shoulder and pissing off all the fanboys out there.
Just
get off my lawn.
All right, so Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I guess it's okay.